I wouldn't call it a presser, but there was a
impromptu session.
Session that occurred after practice the other day with Dr. Crow and Ray Anderson, and many of you probably did not have an opportunity to see this, but we thought that we would bring some of the best clips to you, part of our top headlines by the CAZ Sportsbook. But we'll start with all the talk with the Apple deal. Of course, we talked about the Apple deal, maybe $20 million. They get a piece of the subscriptions, how that would look. Here is Dr. Crow talking about that deal that was offered.
The last few days is that we were offered a media contract by the Apple Corporation, which is a technological 23rd century Star Trek thing of really unbelievable capability that we were very interested in, ASU was very interested in. Digitization of all ASU football games, all men's basketball games, and all women's basketball games instantly. Available anywhere in the world at a touch of the button from any device, anywhere. Digitally then manipulable by the watcher, both during the game and between games and between multiple games at the same time, as well as usable by athletes for recruitment and so forth and so on after the games as an archived thing. So we thought that there was some risk, but huge opportunity. So several of the schools were committed to that, but it created another destabilizing moment of sort of tradition versus this modern thing. So a lot of back and forth. The Pac-12's council, the CEOs, the presidents, and the chancellors met many times during the week with a pivotal meeting yesterday that led to ASU and others joining the Big 12.
You know, what's interesting is why couldn't they try to figure out how to still use this? Because that technology sounds amazing in the way he broke it out. And for someone that's in water polo or soccer or a non-rev type sport, an Olympic sport, that doesn't get on channel XYZ,
right,
would have an opportunity to be streamed on all their games, all their matches, whatever it may be on Apple, I think would be great. I think they should still pursue that and be the big conference, the Big 12 conference, Big 20 conference with an Apple deal as well for those non-revenue sports. Sure. Because let's just be honest, the people that are watching those particular sports are in most cases family members or people that play that sport.
Sure. Friends.
And friends. So why wouldn't you kind of, air on Apple and be able to kind of, pull it anytime you want to watch, ASU and Baylor in a water polo match?
Well, and I think that what Michael Crow realizes that to that point, it's limited, for them to do that.
It's non-limited.
No, but I'm saying, but that's good there for the non-revs. But as far as what's going to drive all these programs, they're going to need that media money. But to your point, if the Big 12, you go to Apple,
jump on it before the other guy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
If there's interest from Apple, instead of $20 million, take $5 million per school.
And I think at that point, it's kind of like you can have your cake and eat it too. If ASU if Apple says, "Hey, look, ASU, U of A, Colorado, Utah, we're looking to talk to Big 12 about that and be another partner for that." I think that'd be perfect.
Why not?
It'd be a great solution.
I think that would be a situation where every conference, every of the big three, they should all take a look at that and try to capitalize that for extra money.
And see where it goes. Maybe it does take off where people think it will. It's interesting, too. We talked Arizona early on last week, and they were the first to leave. And they didn't care about Arizona State. But it doesn't sound like that's the case. No. It sounds like from what you're going to hear here from Dr. Crow that ASU and Arizona with President Robbins down in Tucson, and Dr. Crow talked over 100 times about, hey, we're sticking together.
Arizona and Arizona State decided we wouldn't split up under any circumstances. You can ask President Robbins about that. But we believe that we're strange fraternal twins.
At what point would you say that was determined?
Before we went into anything, any uncertainty, we were together.
Wonder why that is. I mean, let's just talk about that. Why do they have to be together?
There's two population areas in this state, Phoenix and Tucson. Those are the population areas. That's it. So those two schools understanding and thinking that if indeed they did split, that is going to fracture possibly what takes place between these two schools from the population that does exist. Now, I can say...
Wait, hold on. Let's finish that thought. Okay. I want to know where you're going with that because I'm not understanding that.
Okay.
So are you saying that because if you're a student...
Yes.
And the two schools are in the same state, it may... Because they're in the same state and they're in the same conference...
They end up bidding against each other.
Okay, so... Okay. All right.
Okay. And so I think that what they came to the conclusion was that it's 1,000 times better if we are a duet and not an individual school leaving.
Well,
now, that's different for Oregon and Oregon
Sure.
State, because Oregon doesn't give two poops about Oregon State.
And you also hear in a soundbite where that clip is, where Dr. Crow feels like we're at the end, we were pretty much forced to adhere.
Right.
So I think, guys, what the Board of Trustees wanted them to do, say, hey, look, U of A is ready to go. ASU, for the money you're going to be getting from both schools to be on par. And it sounded like to me, as Crow had mentioned at the end of a conference, that hey, we're pretty much, after it's all said and done, no matter how much we looked at the Pac-12,
Right.
how much we looked here, that we're pretty much, not to use the word forced, but pretty much in sync to move on with U of A.
I just don't know why they need to be hooked together. All right, I didn't go to either school, but if I was Ray Anderson and Dr. Crow, and I had an opportunity to go to the Big Ten, and let them go to the Big 12, why wouldn't you take a chance at that?
It might be a Board of Regents thing, right?
Yeah, now that's the case. We don't know. We're not in those meetings. Maybe
Right.
they said, "Hey, this is how it's going to work."
Right, right.
Could be.
Because they looked at every
and there's some
alternative.
old school, possibly. So the two schools that one that he just mentioned, that being Jimmy B, Oregon and Washington. Here's Crow talking about those two leaving.
We were very interested at ASU on finding a way to connect to more people and so forth. But we have to be in a viable conference to do that. And once Oregon and Washington decided to go to the Big Ten, the conference was no longer viable. So viability meant you can't be in a non-viable position for more than a few hours in our mind. So it's all.
To your point, Minucci, they had to go.
Their line,
They had
their
to.
lines right
That's it.
there. You know, they're pretty much forced to go.
Here's Dr. Crow and Ray Anderson talking about holding on to the Pac-12, because it sounds like, and if you watch this entire piece, it's about 8, 9, 10 minutes maybe. They were doing everything in their power to stay. They didn't want to go. It's pretty clear that Dr. Crow did not want to leave the Pac-12, but that they had no choice.
How much responsibility do you feel for the destruction of Pac-12, or do you feel like it was ripped from you by other people?
Well, that's an interesting question. So how do we feel about the destruction of the Pac-12, and what do we feel about our responsibility for that? We were the stalwarts fighting for the Pac-12 to the last ditch. I'm telling you.
I can reiterate that the destruction of the Pac-12 is a very bad description. We had nothing to do with it. We were trying to save them, stayed in the trenches as long as we could until it became clear that it was no longer in our control. So I take offense very frankly to the question, but I hope you get your answer. We were there to the last moment, and it became clear that in the best interest of ASU and our student athletes, it was time to make a decision affirmatively and move.
I took a little offense to that, did Ray Anderson.
Yeah.
And Michael Crow, like, okay, I don't know if we contribute to the downfall of the Pac-12. There's a lot more there.
Well, they're
than
part of it. They're part of it.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I
so
think
is Arizona and Utah.
They-
They're all part of it.
They
all
left. They left.
the conference being down, everybody has the burden and responsibility for that Pac-12 being down over the years. And Michael Crow,
And-
Ray Anderson,
and-
they here, they just got called out on it.
They're also at fault because they hired the guy who's running the Pac-12.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, all the commissioners.
Yep.
Or excuse
3
me,
minutes.
The presidents and ADs are the
Kalikoff,
ones
Yep.
that hire that guy.
Yep.
And finally, here's Ray Anderson talking about the Olympic sports. So this what may happen because of Big 12. We know travel is going to be an issue. It's going to be very expensive for these schools to be able to do all the travel, going a lot farther than they were just being in the Pac-12. Here's what he's talking about doing divisions. So it could be a West Coast division, a Southwest division, it could be multiple divisions. Here's Ray talking about that.
Try to, in the Olympic sports, go to divisions and probably do that in football as well. For travel and regionalization still makes sense, but it really makes sense for the Olympic sports. And so you might imagine our selfish interest is that if that keeps us with,
We're not giving you a remote office in Morgantown.
I promise I'm not going to Morgantown. I'm going to sign that to Gene Boyd. He go to Morgantown. But send me to Texas and rivalry with Arizona and start a new one with BYU and Utah and Colorado. That's where a lot of our Olympics.
So look at where we are. So we have 2 schools in Utah, 2 schools.
2 minutes.
We have Colorado, and then we've got the schools in Texas. I mean, that's quite a nice little group of schools right there. So I don't know how that's going to end up, but that's a nice little regional group of schools.
Ray's talking like I was talking. I don't want to go to Waco. I don't want to go to
Yeah, but you gotta
West
be
Virginia.
careful with
Morgantown.
that comment, Rock. You got
Well, I mean, but he's true. He's being honest.
It's
Those are road trips he's going to not go on.
I get it. It's a very flippant comment, whether you're joking or tongue in cheek, whatever like that. It's just,
I don't know why you got to defend the Big 8 so much or the Big 12. Let's be
No, I'm not-
realistic.
I'm not
if you're an alumnus,
Yeah.
you do not want to go to those schools on a road trip.
Okay, your AD shouldn't say that though. Your AD should
AD,
say
I
that.
like he's being transparent.
Okay,
I
but-
love it.
but-
I love it.
But it's kind of, you could take that
He's a
kind of.
Stanford guy. I'm sure he's a little upset that the Pac-12 was done.
Okay, but there's a lot of Big 12 people going, well, why the hell would you want to go to Morgantown? And
I would
all the above.
Been there?
The AD should
I have,
say that.
I have too.
The AD should not say that, Rock. Even if it's flipping or whatever. And people are going,
It's
who are you?
refreshing. We complain when people don't say anything, and we complain when
1
they do
minute.
say
There are some things you say and some things you don't say.
It's a big deal. Is it you gonna lose any sleep because he says he doesn't want to go to Morgantown?
Hey,
And he's being honest.
Right, Rock. People take that connotation. Why he doesn't want to come back here? Why he's too good, or because it could be a racism thing or whatever. Who knows?
Oh, I don't know.
But you should. But that's
You're taking it too far there.
no.
Yeah.
It's tongue in cheek. I'm trying to tell you is even if it's tongue in cheek, you just don't say that kind of stuff.
That
I'm
was
sorry,
great.
guys.
I was like, hey, I agree with him. I mean, if he would have said Waco and Lubbock and Manhattan, he could add to that list.
No. You just hey, you know what?
UCF.
We welcome the opportunity to go to all of the cities that are out there. That's the proper term we should say.
It's got to be
He-
BC.
he's getting beat up by the Big 12 folks. That's all I can say. And I'd beat him up as well too. Yo, Ray, you cannot make those
Big
kind of
12
comments.
beat him up. I didn't see any stories.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks that
There are.
like,
Who are you
they're
on
like-
Twitter? Or, I didn't see one story.
Twitter,
Where'd you see it? Give me
some of the
one.
chat rooms.
You're
some of
just
the
saying
stuff.
that. You're defending the
No,
Big
no,
12.
no. All my K-State buddies have
They all
those
called you.
tentacles.
They all called you and said, "Hey, Ray's ripping."
Ray's-
Why would your K-State guys care about?
because they see all
Morgantown, West
they
Virginia.
see all the Big 12 comments
you
that
are
are
just
out there.
making this stuff
No.
You
I got.
guys you pull stuff
Wait a
out.
minute, wait a
throw it
minute.
on the air.
Don't include
Oh,
me.
you-
This is you and him right
Yeah,
now.
you do say it.
Yeah, but
But you guys embellish. It's like, give me one guy you talked to from Kansas State that said, "I can't believe Ray Anderson said that about Morgantown."
I got a couple of guys on our
You have
little,
2 guys.
I got 18 guys that we
but 2 guys.
that
That's
said
2 out of 18.
the
So you're just like the leftists. That 2%.
No, I'm not.
Hey, shut up
everybody
that
cares,
with the left
everybody
stuff.
cares
Jimmy.
about the 2%.
Get out of here with that. Rock, some stuff you say, sometimes you don't.
We want guys to be transparent, and when they do, you jump on them.
I know he's kind of kidding and joking. I get it, but you know what? Just you don't need to be.
Did you
kidding.
know he was kidding?
I tell you what, with he sending Gene Boyd back there, he may not be kidding. He may be saying, "Hey, look, my comment a little flippant." You just don't make those kind of flippant comments going to Morgantown. Folks in Morgantown, they'll have, hey, if he comes back there, they're going to have the welcome wagon out for him. They'll have the posters. Hey, Ray, how we doing today? Welcome to Morgantown.
So how does this past weekend's college football realignment mean for recruiting, specifically for the Pac-12? Just think about that. If you had already said, hey, I'm going to Oregon State or Washington or Stanford or even Arizona State, now maybe you don't want to go to Morgantown once a year. And how about the TV money that built the Power 5 and now destroyed it? We're going to get into that as well. We're also going to catch